Hey there, Ted Galdi. This is how to do your Insta Story 101. So I'll make it quick for you. First, you want to hit the Instagram button, then go right on over to the top of the page. Once you're inside, you want to choose the ideas that you've got. If you want to put several things together, as in a sequence of things, like, hey, buy my book, here's the title of my book, go on to the story, to my website and check it out. And then here is a clip or an insert from my book. You can choose those things. So you'll want to hit the multiple category up here in the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put these 4 things together. Next. Then you want to go over and you can choose the hashtag sticker. Now, when you choose the hashtag sticker, think about choosing really big book tags. So in your case, I would hit bookish. You could also use bookish love. You could also use thriller. You can also use bookish thriller. You could use book of the month. You can use Bookstagram. And the reason that I'm doing this, there's a method to the madness. So now on Instagram, you can use up to 15 hashtags inside of an Insta story post. And why would you want to do that? You don't know what's trending yet. So you can take these, put them all together, and watch this. See how small I make them? You can make them as tiny as you like and move them anywhere else on the page. You could do the same right here. Remember, if you want to copy these tags, you can go right back, find the ones that you had before, and copy-paste them from one side to the other. I moved those way down, so I'd have to get way down into the page. I probably moved them too far. But you can take the tags you had before and copy-paste them into each different story. Remember, you also want to add a location to each of your stories. So that's my business. We're here at 520 Santa Monica. We can also add LA. It's pretty broad. So we can do that. If there's a place that you think that could be trending, for instance, I'll go back. And since you sell online, but you know, a really cool place here that lots of people check out. We could do any of the libraries, or we could do the last bookstore, which is downtown. Add the last bookstore to the feed. Right now we've got one of those things going. Remember, you can also add, in addition to this really cool stuff, a question. If you want to engage with your community, you know where to buy. Are you coming out to my next show? How cool is this? So you have the opportunity to be as cool, or have you read my book? Hopefully, if they're following you, they've read. But guess what? Over 450 million people are using Insta Stories daily now. So they may not have, and they might be finding you through a tag like bookish, or also through a location tag like the last bookstore, or New York City, or Los Angeles, or Miami, etc. Remember, you can keep moving on and adding those tags. So bookish lad, bookish ladies book club. And when you ask about which tags should you use, because you're like, hey, I just don't know, choose different tags when you're experimenting in the beginning so that you can A/B test and see what works. But choose the biggest kinds of tags that people are using. So if it's Bookstagram, if it's bookish, use all of those. So it's Bookstagram. And then if you want to try IG authors, or IG writers, IG author life, etc., right? You want to experiment. So the sticker is the main one, but you can use the text box to create additional ones. So TBT, right? I could add George R.R. Martin here. Right, and it'll generally prompt you and tell you what's coming up. And remember, you can also make these fun. If you like, if that's not your style, it's okay. And you like to be more straightforward, that's okay too. But do remember, also add a location to all of these. Boop. And the reason is, hashtags trend, locations trend, and we want to have all of our bases covered. And if you want to see and check and measure engagement, use any of these engagement stickers that you've got. Not a TBT, that's just to make it look prettier, but you can ask the polls, you can ask questions. right? You can ask people how cool. You're creative, right? You get it. So there they all are. And now that we've got them all together, 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can hit next and you can share them all at once. Now, the benefit to doing one at a time versus doing many at a time, if you do all of them at once, right, they all show up in the right sequence. If you do them throughout the day, what will generally happen, I'll show you, we'll discard, is that you'll appear each time here on the far left. So anytime someone in your network who engages with you posts a new one, they go all the way to the left. And so then you go right back to the front of the queue again. If you post all 4 at once, then it goes in at once. But what Instagram also does is that for people who frequently engage with your content, if they miss it and don't engage, then it'll start to show up in the middle. Like, it may not show up here in mine because I watch it quite frequently, but you'll get to a point where it'll show you people whose IG stories that you've not yet checked out. So you might want to use that. But be sure to use those hashtags and locations each time. And then when you go back to sort of audit and see whether or not it's working, you see here how I've used many hashtags on this post. French fries is trending, hungry for more, pizza story, pizza story, etc. You can actually see what's working and what isn't, where you're getting visibility from these. And my hashtag stories, depending on the tags, can, range in the thousands, the tens of thousands, down to the hundreds, depending on what the tag is. But notice that, again, this particular piece, I used French fries, hungry for more, pizza, and pizza, and they were all quite popular. And if you look through, not at Eugene, but if we look through here, right, this is what's happening in French fries. These are the related tags. And this is what's happening in the French fries Insta story. Right, it aggregates all of them. So you want your content to trend inside of the Insta story as well. That's why I'd like for you to use many hashtags. This content that you see here is content from the feed. So anybody who's used it in a post. Whenever you see a red circle around it, that's anyone who's used it inside of the Insta story. That is all the news I have on hashtags for you, sir. Hopefully that works out. Thanks. Bye.